Kwe, hello. My name is Kirsty Abbott. I am the Assistant Program Coordinator for the Indigenous Enriched Support Program, as well as the Student Academic Advisor for IESP students. 7 years ago, I was a first-year student in this program, and now I'm going to share with you some information about how great it is and help you decide whether it would be a good fit for you in your education journey. First, I want to acknowledge that Carleton and many of its departments recognize that its location sits upon traditional, unceded, and unsurrendered territories of the Algonquin Nation. This means that Carleton is working to increase its inclusivity, awareness, and supports for Indigenous community members and students. The photo here displayed is of an art installation that is mounted on the ceiling of Ojibwanog, the Indigenous Student Center on campus. It was designed by Manuel Baez, an architecture professor at Carleton U, in consultation with the Indigenous architect Douglas Cardinal, who designed the center itself. It is based on the theme of light and representing the medicine wheel. The Enriched Support Program and the Indigenous Enriched Support Program is an alternative entry program for those who may not meet the traditional requirements for a degree program. This is designed to meet the needs of those whose academic record likely does not represent their potential for success at university, or for mature students who have been out of studies for a long period of time and are looking for extra support their first year. IESP is a first-year full-time studies program recognized by most funders. The program offers access to first-year courses with academic supports in order to help you with admissions into a degree. Our program offers pathways into degrees in the arts and social sciences, business, engineering, computer science, and science programs. And I'll get into a little more detail of what each of those streams look like later on. The program structure of IESP is the same as ESP. However, it offers a few more unique features built in to best support Carleton's Indigenous students. This includes the FirstYear Seminar, which teaches on selected topics of Indigenous studies and is taught by an Indigenous instructor, who is also the coordinator of the program. The in-class peer mentors are former IESP students, and the other designated supports of academic advisor and coach are held by Indigenous folks as well. All staff and mentors prioritize maintaining a connection to the Indigenous community on and off campus, helping students stay connected. So what does it look like coming into the Indigenous Enriched Support Program? This display gives you a bit of an idea of the structure and what a schedule might look like, how the program is set up. So as a student in IESP, you are enrolled in 3 credit courses, and those courses are supported by 2 workshops. So if you look at the stuff that's outlined in red, those things that would be built into your schedule. If you're coming into a degree through the traditional route, you could take up to 5 first-year courses. So as a student in this program, you're in a smaller number of courses, but you're in the same number of things. You're just spending your time a bit differently, in a number of credit courses and non-credit courses being the workshops. The goal of the program really is to help you try and structure and get accustomed to the way that university works, to structure your time and get used to university demands. I think one of the key differences between, say, a high school method of learning and a college method of learning that's different from university is in high school and college, most learning takes place in a classroom setting, whereas in university that can really change. Your lecture may be 3 hours a week, and same with the workshops. So in total, you'll only be in 15 hours a week of classes. But that really sounds more like a part-time job. And the big change that when you come to university is that there's this expectation that you're spending more hours outside of class working on your reading and writing and assignments than you're actually spending in the lecture. It's an expectation of independent learning, of assignments, essays, and tests. And that time really adds up in your schedule. I'll talk about each of these aspects a little bit more as we go along. So the first year seminar course that you would enroll in is something that all our first year students at university are encouraged to consider. Our first year seminars also have the supports of mentors. So a first year seminar course is a regular credit course worth a credit towards most degree programs at the university. The difference between it and one of your traditional first year courses is that it's a small class where you'll really get to know your professor and your peers and have more participatory kinds of discussions amongst the group. It's going to be an active learning opportunity, which you don't really get in lectures. The IESP seminar is taught by an Indigenous faculty member in the department and the IESP coordinator. The goal of the first year seminar is to introduce you to what university expects in terms of academic writing, reading, and research skills. At the same time, they are teaching you whatever the content of the course is. It's really meant to preview more of what happens at the third and fourth year, where there are more focused topics and not broad first year courses that your intro to psychology might look like. The program also hires Indigenous peer mentors that are former IESP students, so they know the program, they're familiar with the campus and its Indigenous community, and stay in the know with community events and student programming. Mentors are therefore former students who have been in your shoes and know what to expect. They can offer transition advice, share experiences of what they learned along the way. Mentor connections can be important to help build that sense of community and support. In addition to the first year seminar, you'll be enrolled in a couple of elective courses. Now we're calling them elective courses, but they may end up being requirements for your degree program in the future. If you're coming into the arts and social sciences stream of our program, it means you're orienting your courses in the Bachelor of Arts. You'll have a variety of first year courses to choose from. You can see the list there. I won't read them all out. But we try to choose courses to offer you that are the typical courses that students might want to major in down the line. So you'll be in those first year classes along with everyone else in the university. They won't know you're an IESP student unless you tell them. They're typically the first year required course for whatever field they're in. Now, for our other streams in business, science, engineering, and computer science, the course selection is much more restricted. And that's because those programs have fewer electives and more of a prescribed pattern of study. A lot of the programs like business and engineering restrict their course to those students already in the degree. So what we do is try and choose courses that will help you toward the major, help you qualify for the major, and have the credits count towards that degree program once you're in. So for the business stream, we have you enrolled in economics, calculus, and marketing, which are required in business but also open to any student. For computer science, we have the introductory year courses to computer science and a calculus and algebra. For science and engineering, we have you take chemistry as well as calculus and algebra. So those courses will be in addition to the first year seminar course that students are taking. So those are the credit courses that you would enroll in as a student in our program, and each elective course will be supported with a workshop. I think that workshops are something that are especially valuable to people. They're really designed to help you organize your study time because they force you to devote a certain amount of study time meeting with other people working on the course content. They're there to help you learn and practice effective academic skills and form good, strong habits as you review the weekly lecture material. The peer facilitator gets a lot of training on what to incorporate and in terms of what the research tells us that are effective processes to learning and retaining material. They're going to attend that first year course again, even though they've already taken that course, so that when they're designing the activities for you to do each week, they're basing it on the content from that week, based on what the professor already talked about exactly. The workshops are there to help you maintain a level of structure and keep you on top of things, like a built-in accountability piece. You get a chance to know other people in the class because you're meeting with the same small group of people each week to review that content. It's important to note that while the first year seminar is only IESP students, your workshops will be a mix of ESP and IESP students in the same lecture course as you. And the kinds of activities that you would engage in are things like mock tests, note-taking skills, lecture review, discussion, group work, and things like how do you know from the 3-hour lecture of a professor just talking at you what is the key information you should take away and study? And the interactive activities can be a lot of fun. So that sums up what the program would look like for you taking the elective courses, first year seminar, and the workshops. Now we also have student advising and coaching available on an appointment basis. You would meet one-on-one with a student advisor. It's really easy to book an appointment on our website. The advisors are really experts on what are the degree options, what are the differences between a major or a minor, what are the different concentrations, and which programs have co-ops and practicums. We're there to help you review your progress, like how you're doing in your course. How do you crunch the numbers to figure out your GPA? Carleton uses this 12-point scale. What does that even mean? We can help you with all of that stuff. We're there to connect you with any campus resources you might need. Also adding classes. So for example, if you do well your first semester, you can apply to add an additional course of your choice to your schedule in the winter. Then we're also there to help with the transition going from IESP into the degree of your choosing. So how does that work, and what do you need in order to qualify? Academic coaches are also available on an appointment basis. That's one-on-one support for your learning. They're there to help you navigate an online environment, help you manage your time and stay on top of things. They can help you build a personal study plan, offer support with essay writing. They can support your essays right from the start through to editing the final draft. We then have specific coaches for math and science courses to help with that content. You can think of the coaches as people who are there to help you with reading and writing and thinking more critically, mastering those skills that you need to know and be good at to make this university thing work. They're really there to help you, to learn how to learn, which is a big part of your first year journey. So let's say you come in and do all this stuff. How do you move forward from our program into a degree? Well, if you finish our program with the average you need, you're guaranteed admission into the degree program. To go into an arts program, something like law, psychology, criminology, social work, A C plus is required for most programs. Some do have higher GPA requirements, and the advisor is there to help you figure that out. If you're in the business stream, you'll require a B average, a minimum C plus, or a B minus in the core GPA. The core average is in those courses that are a requirement for the degree. Computer science requires a B minus or a minimum of a C minus in the core courses. Engineering is anywhere from a B minus to an A minus, and this really depends on which engineering program you're applying to. And for the science programs, a C plus for a general, which is a 3-year program, and a B minus for the honors, which is a 4-year program. So how do our students fare? Students with good attendance, students who actually show up to stuff. Not surprising that showing up actually matters. Attendance on average of 70%, so students who do really well, 80 to 90% of them will end up getting into their degree program. So if you're considering this program at all, I encourage you to make use of the supports that we have. Take advantage of the academic coaching and advising, and make use of the weekly workshops to really help you learn the course material. So that concludes our IESP program video. If you have any questions, please check out our website or send an email. There is no dumb question. I really actually believe that. Also, check out our other video on the website for information about costs and funding for the program. Miigwech.